These IEMs are very evidently made for the musician by the musician, because they are very distinctly different from most other IEMs in the market, especially with the way they are tuned. So I will get into that pretty soon. But of course, thank you to the very kind folk at NF ACOUS for making this review possible by sending me this demo unit. All thoughts and opinions are my own as always. So let's quickly jump into the build and the unboxing. This is the second set of NF ACOUS IEMs that I'm reviewing, and I found that the unboxing is still very boutique. In fact, it's very similar to the last set of IEMs that I reviewed, and it comes in a very different experience, which I really do like. You do slide the box out, and when you open it up like a little book, it does reveal the IEMs within a compartment that's much like a compact disc. So it's quite cool with the way it's laid out. And you also do get a little carry case in it. It's a fabric carry case, and it's a nicely made one, big enough to carry the IEMs, the cable, as well as a DAC amp if you do want to carry that around, of course, as well as that 1/4 inch jack in case you want to hook up to any serious amps. Then you also do get separate sets of ear tips. You get an extra small, medium, and large as well, and you get the literature as well in the box. Then moving right onto the cable, well, this is terminated to a 0.78 mm where it connects to the IEMs, and the other end is a 3.5 mm. Now you can put that 1/4 inch adapter onto this in case you want to hook up to larger amps, no doubt. But this cable is largely similar to the last one that I also did check out with the NM20, and it is a good quality cable, no doubt. I really do like the way it's built. It's nice, it's compact. It's definitely not big and thick and bulky like an upgrade cable, but you do have that option to do it if you want to. But of course, the termination on the IEM might be something that might make getting upgrade cables a bit difficult, which you'll have to look into. And then moving on to the IEM themselves, well, this is some sort of a CNC machined enclosure. It's all metal. It's definitely very nice looking. It's very cool to the touch, especially if you're in an AC room or a cool environment. But what I find really cool about this is that it does have laser etched stuff on it. So right at the bottom, you'll see NM25 monitor, which looks quite cool, as well as the left and right markings on these IEMs are laser etched. So it's really very tastefully done, and it does look quite premium in that sense. And then up top here, you'll see this blue logo of the NF ACOUS brand, and close to where the 0.78 mm connector is, you'll see a little venting port, as well as another one right on the inside, which will sort of open up to your concha. Now, this does not have detachable nozzles, so you can't change the tuning with these nozzles, so it is permanently fixed. I'd say if you do want to change the tuning, you might have to play around with different ear tips. The ear tips that come with these, I think, are fairly neutral sounding, and at the same time, they are comfortable. I've not really had any discomfort with these, wearing these over prolonged listening sessions. But also, this IEM is a nice compact one. It's not big and bulky, so it surprisingly does fit very comfortably in my ear. It's not exactly contoured very aggressively like some other IEMs I've tried out in the recent past, but this is a set that sits very snug. Once I get the right fit, it's extremely comfortable to wear over prolonged periods of time without causing any discomfort or pain. And then, of course, you will see the faceplate here, which I did forget to mention, but it does have this sort of embossed logo here, which is quite cool. And you'll see this chamfered edge over here as well along the side. So it's very tastefully done. It is definitely something that looks very cool, very pretty, that I think a lot of people might stop and ask you what you're listening to. These come with dynamic drivers with a whole bunch of things going on within the IEM itself. There are multiple chambers, multiple tuning things going on. There's no doubt a lot of science that has gone into these, which is quite cool. You should read up on it on its website if you do want to find out a lot more detail about this in particular. And then it does have a frequency response of 9 Hz all the way up to 40,000 Hz, and a very easy to drive low resistance of just 32 ohms. So now I've driven this with Rose's Elsa RZ550. It's my go-to DAC amp. Now this is obviously more for listening pleasure when it comes to this DAC amp in particular. And the thing is with these IEMs, one thing I will say is that it was very apparent from the first time I heard them after I finished the burn-in, of course, that I don't think that they are particularly catering towards the audiophile. I mean, there are some audiophiles who I think like it and appreciate it. There are some that won't. The audio engineer in me really loved how this is tuned, because this is perfect for monitoring. I mean, if you're on stage and you're performing as a vocalist or whatever else, it's fantastic. And then also if you are in the studio and editing, this is again fantastic. Things change up when you start looking at it as an audiophile set of IEM. So, I mean, you shouldn't, I think, judge a fish based on its capability or ability to climb a tree. I don't think that's fair. So this, in that sense, I think is made for something very different and not just music listening. But having said that, let me get into the details of that. So when it comes to listening to this, since it's so easy to drive with this little DAC amp, I've not really gone past even 20-25%. It's very easy to drive without any issue. It can get a bit too loud for me when I listen to it on my Android phone if I go past 30% volume. So I wouldn't recommend listening to this too loud if you want to preserve your hearing, of course. When it comes to its imaging, this is a very good performer. Things are pretty sharp. They are pretty pristine in its overall presentation. Being an in-ear monitor, I think this is something that should be expected. And by in-ear monitor, I don't mean like a lot of the IEMs that are being made to specifically cater toward the audiophile. I'm saying as an in-ear monitor, if you are a vocalist performing on stage, or if you are somebody who's editing your own audio, this is something that will cater to your requirements and give you the detail you require to find all the details and flaws in the music that you are trying to mix and master. So I think it'll benefit that kind of person a lot. Soundstage is surprisingly very prominent in letting you know what is left and right biased. There are some IEMs that sort of cloud that width. This doesn't do that. Things are very apparently here and here with a little bit of extension coming a little out of them. It's definitely more evident with these IEMs than, should I say, the last IEMs that I did test. So again, this will benefit, I think, a lot with mixing, mastering, or if you're on stage and it's balanced in a certain way where you want to, hear a specific instrument while performing and so on. When it comes to its timbre, I think it's true enough. It's not exactly the truest sounding set of IEMs I've heard, but it is pretty true in its overall response. It tends to miss out, I think, on a little bit of warmth when it comes to absolute neutrality. Some instruments or vocals don't carry the depth that I think it should have to be a much truer sounding set of IEMs. But then again, this is me talking as an audiophile, not as a performer and not as an editor. So an audio editor. If you're doing that, I think this again will stand out to you quite a bit. Moving on to its highs, mids and lows. Well, this is where I think a lot of people will realize that this is not the set of IEMs for them. Musicality wise, I think it's fun, definitely. If you're listening to rock, it's great. If you're listening to instrumental, it's really superb. It's a very good performer. Jazz and blues, all these genres, I think, work very well with them because it does have a considerable accentuation in the highs and the upper mids. They are boosted, I think, quite a lot. A little too much for my taste. So much so, this does lean more towards being a brighter set of IEMs. So much so, I think if I were to give these to my friend to use, who's much older than I am, he will benefit from this considering how much hearing loss he has, because brighter IEMs will benefit anyone with hearing loss at certain frequency ranges. So this is accentuating that upper, mid and high frequency, not so much for people with hearing loss, but for accentuating detail and resolution. So if you are that person who has a loss in that range, or if you're looking for detail and resolution for edits, I think it makes a lot of sense. Because from a musical standpoint, if you're listening to this with various kinds of music, I have heard a whole bunch of sibilants with tracks that are not necessarily that sibilant sounding with most other IEMs. And at the same time, what I had to do to cull this was plug into my tube amp. So if you listen to this via a tube amp, it'll sort of control that sibilance or spike in that region just a little bit. It will calm it down a bit. But also, having said that, if you're one for EQing stuff, if you do want to, again, it just again leans towards the audio engineer who wants to balance things out. It works very well with EQing. There are some IEMs that don't want to be fiddled with when it comes to their overall tuning, but this is genuinely a good performer there because it's also a very transparent sounding set of IEMs. So if I've shifted between my RZ550 portable DAC amp or my FIO X5 and Mont Blanc amp or my desktop setup for my audio, it's very evident that I'm listening to different bits of hardware. So being this transparent, I think, is very good, especially in a performance-based environment. And then the lower mid-range is dipped a bit. I wish it had a little more accentuation because male vocals can sound like they are missing a bit of depth. I do wish there was a little more depth, but I'm being really sort of critical here. I don't think it should be that much of a problem if you're performing with these and using them as in-ear monitors. But from a musical standpoint, I'd miss that. As a vocalist, if I'm standing on stage and singing, I know for a fact I'm going to get all the instruments I need to hear and perform my very best with these as my monitors. And then moving on to the lower frequencies, well, I'd say this is more substance than quantity because it's not as large as I think a lot of people will have come to like with, with some newer IEMs tend to be very bass heavy. Some of them have so much bloat that they sound as bass enthusiastic as some wireless earphones. This is not that. This gives you that kick in the lower frequencies. By that I mean maybe the upper and mid bass, but the sub bass is, well, it's not as elevated as I think a lot of people will like. I personally do like this tuning a lot, but that sibilant area, that brightness that it has, I think is a bit too forward for my taste. So I'd say honestly, if you are somebody who's looking for a set of IEMs where you want to sit and edit your media or your audio, make mixes and masters, this will do a very good job of pointing out what's not right with your mix and your master. It's got terrific image to be able to find that. It's got terrific stage for you to have a sense of where sounds are coming from. In fact, I think this will do very well if you choose to use it for gaming as well. Keep in mind, this does not have a microphone on the cable. You might have to use an upgrade cable for that. But all in all, this is genuinely a very good performer. But again, it's catered to a very different kind of demographic. I think it is more for the musician, for the live artist, the person who wants to know what's going on in every bit of his mix, not necessarily the music enthusiast. So if you do want to buy this, this is right now available on the NF ACOUS website. Of course, I'll leave the link down below. And of course, if you do want to buy this, this does go for about $199 US dollars, which I think is a pretty good price for monitors that sound as good as this. I do know that there are products out there that go well past the $500 and $1,000 mark. Now, no doubt, this is not a custom IEM, so the way it fits is not going to be, bespoke to your specific ear or both ears. That's another reason why other IEMs tend to be very expensive. But if you do want to save a bit and have a very good performer, I think this is certainly a very good set of IEMs to go for. So anyway, that's my review on the NM25, which I genuinely think is a lovely little piece of work. You can practically get a sense of the love and passion that the team at NF ACOUS has put towards this. I'd like to say by musicians for the musician. So yeah, I've even liked their previous pair, so you can check out that review if you like the NM20 that I reviewed. But anyway, I hope this review has given you a better understanding for these IEMs. And of course, if you would like to support the channel, I'm sure you know exactly how to. But of course, thank you for tuning in for some sound advice.